Weird. Weird.
Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got.
Weird. Weird.
Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got.
Weird. Weird.
Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got.
Weird. Weird.
Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got.
We want all you TV fans to feel at home. You can sit there in your easy chair with your shoes off and a can of beer, watching that wonderful, clear picture coming into your home, bringing culture and entertainment, and not forget the thrill you get watching television on your big 21-inch screens. I have a 21-inch screen myself, and it's loads of fun. Remarkable invention. Where did you go?
It was just my luck picking her up on the road. It had to be the very last person I should ever have met. That's life. Whichever way you turn, fate sticks out a foot to trip you.
We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Weird.
Don't be embarrassed about opening your mouth and letting rip with all you've got.
Weird. Weird.
Weird. Yeah, I guess that is the word for it. Weird.
And now, maximum energy. The unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable.
Weird.
It is March 28th, Film Noir month of March. Noirch is coming to an end, but we are not done yet, for tonight is the penultimate of our month-long programming streak of Film Noir in March with 100% Weird. And tonight it is Don't Talk to Strangers. I almost said Strangers on a Plane. I almost came that close.
Well,
to
you
Strano.
should have said "Don't Stop for Strangers," which is the title of the stream.
God damn it!
It should also be noted for anybody curious, welcome to the darkest stream we've ever done in terms of stories, and the common theme here being both hitchhiking movies, and for those of you who haven't hitchhiked, keep it that way. It's a good way to end up as a headless torso. But also, this is inadvertently kind of true crime noir tonight as well. One of which, the second feature, The Hitchhiker, is based on an actual killer who, took to the highways of America and was picked up and would dispatch with people who picked him up. But our first film stars a murderer. And I think this is the first time any of our movies has starred an actual killer. So that's wonderful.
Okay.
But it's amazing, too, because it's made better because Detour, which is what I'm alluding to there, famously is one of the big examples of having an unreliable narrator, which makes so many things like more complicated and better because of this real life tragedy, which is a sick way of putting it. But it's sort of, he is the most noir real life actor who probably ever lived. And that's Tom Neal. Very little known, worm of a guy.
Okay, so a little behind the curtain here, and forgive me for doing this, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly Brayton. Before we started stream, I says, "Is there anything serious I should know about tonight's stream?" And Brayton was like, "No, just keep playing, nothing to worry about." And then
I wanted to spring it on you. Like a snake in a box.
We did a stream of The Fifth Element not too long ago, and had I known some of the things that I know now, I would have easily replaced that movie with something a little less controversial, like
but actual predatory acts doesn't necessarily dovetail into the premise of Fifth Element all that much. I mean, well, no, you know what it does, because as we all remember, Bruce Willis and Lulu or whatever. The weak old Lulu, whatever her name was.
Yeah, Milovich. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about the character.
Yeah, the character.
But, that kind of dovetailed into it. So it's, I guess, in a way, a similar thing here. Do you want me to get into that part of it, or do you want to keep it happy and clownish? Because I'm sorry if you just yesterday booted up the Tom Neal fan club and took on its presidential role. I hate to, just pop that bubble.
Yeah, well, again, Brayton, I've only seen maybe 3 movies in my entire life. There was The Big Sleep, Night and the City, and let's say the third movie for this week is the Care Bears movie.
Okay.
Those are the only 3 movies I've ever seen, so I have no idea.
And you will be seeing 4 because you have front row tickets to Minecraft, the movie. So, thumbs up.
That, by the way, just as a quick note, that looks horrible. I don't...
An Enderpearl. I'm Steve. Ricky-Q.
Oh, yeah! I don't know if I'm doing a Jack Black impression or Aquaman impression. So.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. So we're dealing with dark subject matter. And also these movies are public domain, so there's a slight chance this may end up on YouTube unless YouTube decides, nope, no murders in the movie. So. But yeah, so quick introduction to 1% Weird before Brayton takes over, since this is another stream that he programmed for tonight. 1% Weird is based and in honor of the 1% Weird programming block from the 1990s, early 1990s, I should say. As you know, Friday, back for cable television, regular television, was sort of a dead zone. So TNT would usually just air a lot of like random miscellaneous sci-fi, horror, fantasy thrillers, and oddball comedies that night from midnight to dawn. And it was sort of a spin-off of Monster Vision and even TBS's own kind of bizarre weekend movie programming block, particularly on Fridays and Saturdays. And we're honoring the tradition, although thankfully because we're on Twitch, we have a wider variety to play around with. And all this month we've been doing film noir, thanks to Mr. Brayton here, and I decided to give him 2 of the 1% Weirds of this month to him. And with that said, I shall let him take it away while he introduces our first movie, Detour, correct?
Yes, Detour from 1945. A bit of a quintessential entry in the film noir canon, makes it on the top of a lot of lists. I have kind of run hot and cold with this movie over the years, but I do admire it. And with the background real life aspect of it, it does, again, make the events preceding a lot more eerie. And also, this was directed by Edgar G. Ulmer, who kind of a noir character in his own right, in that he was blackballed to Poverty Row Films. Basically, this was produced by Republic Corporation, PRC company, who famously did I Accuse My Parents. So it's that low budget. And Edgar G. Ulmer was a great director and, a filmmaker known for his ability to really stretch limited resources. He directed The Black Cat with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and we played that at least twice on the show, I believe. So, no, once.
No, we didn't play. We haven't played it at all. We played The Raven with.
Oh, that's
Boris
right.
Karloff
Okay, yeah, no, okay. Then we've yet to watch The Black Cat, so that's
The
one
Black
for the
Cat is
future.
the more gothic one where Lugosi skins Boris Karloff alive near the end of it. So.
Oh, how quaint.
I'd say.
Yes.
But Edgar G. Ulmer himself was blackballed to Poverty Row because he was having an affair with the nephew's wife of Carl Laemmle, who, of course, was the head of Universal Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And out of pettiness, kind of out of pettiness, and just to show you how, it worked back then, he found out and, basically had him thrown out of the lot. News got around town, and all he could get work on was this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he sort of accidentally made a pretty amazing movie. This is a low budget gem. I think it was made for like $100,000 or something on the dot, probably much less.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely shows you that the testament of like the power of atmosphere and just an interesting story. Great performances here by Tom Neal and Ann Savage. And a great sort of story that, all about paranoia and fate and bad choices and picking people up that you shouldn't. And it has the gimmick, again, sort of, it doesn't say flatly in the movie, but retrospectively, a lot of people see this as a huge, unreliable narrator story where our protagonist, who delivers, flashback narration, is basically rehearsing the speech that he's going to give to the police. It is great. I will say that I kind of get creeped out by it. It has been restored over the years to look nice, but how a lot of people see this for the first time was it played all the time on TV because it was in the public domain. It is on YouTube, and really bad quality. And it has a very, very scrappy kind of unsettling, again, finding a hidden gem in a Mill Creek box set kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
But Tom Neal, to get back to him, a man of many quirks, lived a very noir life. He also kind of only got work on low-budget B movies. And at one point in his life, he was in a relationship with the actress Barbara Payton. And she was in the relationship with another man, and she was kind of playing them against each other. Tom Neal ended up getting in a fight with the man, fracturing the man's skull, and then Barbara Payton went with Tom Neal. So gotta love that. And then much later on in life in the 60s, he married a woman named Gail Bennett and shot her in the back of her head in their home, and surrendered himself to the police. And I think he wasn't. Did he die in prison? I'm not so sure, because something with the jury, he was convicted of manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter. So he only served something, I think, like 15 years. I could be wrong, but if Wikipedia serves me right, and he kind of gave up acting by then. And sort of lived a life as no. By the time that he had met this woman, he had given up acting.
Yes.
And after he got out of prison, went back to sort of living life as a recluse and I think as a gardener. Big for that. And Ann Savage, though, to get off of him as sort of a really scrappy femme fatale in this. She plays Vera, who really dominates the movie. She's got a great hard edge to her and a great sort of chilling, stare and just way of speaking. She is not the glamorous, Ava Gardner type noir mistress or anything. She'll claw you. And she was apparently a really nice woman. The host of Noir Alley on Turner Classic Movies, Eddie Muller, who I've mentioned many a times, interviewed her as an yes, interviewed her as an older lady for his book on femme fatales. And she gave the interview, and before he left her apartment, she says, "Come into my bedroom. I want to show you something." And he wants to oblige. He goes into her bedroom. She says, "Get down on your knees." A little weird now, but he obliges. And she says, "Look under the bed." And under her bed, she had like a full stocked arsenal of handguns and rifles all laid out neatly on a blanket underneath her bed. And she said to him, "Now you know what happens if you cross me," in what he writes in the book.
Yeah,
So
unfortunately, Eddie Muller was killed that day,
That's
and
right.
he's never published his book. So there you go.
never published the book, and everything we see on Turner Classic Movies has been in the can for 20 years, and he's never been heard of since.
Exactly.
But
It's a good thing he has such a big archive. He knew he was going to die in this business.
I know it's the only way to go in this line of work, in this genre.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Robert Osborne was a Muppet this whole time.
Now that I believe.
Yes.
No, he was animated by Craig McCracken. How else do you explain his crossover with the Powerpuff Girls? Was that Craig McCracken?
Yes, no, you got it right. So, I am Robert Osborne. I host the movie.
Yes, I do. No, it's somewhere under the stars.
But no, this film, though, obviously, again, populated by some very huge characters in real life, and they bring that into the movie. They hated each other on set, and that comes across beautifully in their chemistry. And it's sort of ultra low budget became a blessing in disguise for the movie again too, for Ulmer and his team directing and making the movie, forced to work within limitations. That kind of heightens the film's sense of like off-kilterness. You'll notice in the movie, like, it is filmed with the same sets that you would see in an Ed Wood like production, but it's all in how he films it that almost makes it seem uncanny and kind of nightmarish. It's got a real compact running time. It's like 68 minutes, I think, and does some really innovative, again, shots and voiceover narration. Really has a great sort of claustrophobic sense to it. So a defining film noir, and that will be up first.
Nice. And then because tonight's movies are so short, each about roughly an hour long, Brayton has a bit of a big surprise for our little intermission, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So
yeah, I will splay myself out and do a nude striptease.
We've been
Rich
talking
Evans
about that
singing
for the
an
opening
auto-tune.
theme for a long time. So
Yeah, just give it all away.
yes. I asked, I could do it as a paper puppet. It's like, no, the world's going to see my bare naked body.
Right. I don't want to. I just don't want to cheat anybody out of anything.
Exactly. So yeah, I offered to do my fan dance, but I can't afford multiple fans.
You need like like an airplane turbine.
I'm not that big, asshole. Okay, horrible jokes aside. Yeah, this is going to come back and haunt us one way or another. We're going to start in a little bit. We're going to go into the basically coming up screen, which we will use as our little intermission and do some final checks. But other than that, the files are working great, and I want to thank Kaiju Commander and Shay for joining us, as well as a couple of other people. And they say, Kaiju Commander jokingly says, "I'm sick of all these mother blinking strangers on this mother blinking plane." And Shay says, "Detour and Hitchhiker, the titles for tonight's movies, kind of relate to one another, probably intentional on Brayton's part." No.
Yes. And the mid feature, which I guess we will save that as a surprise, relates directly to both movies, in that the center of it has to do with our latter film, but the actual closing line of the movie is the title of today's movie. So
Yes.
Yeah,
And Kaiju Commander says, in reference to the Black Cat is great, but best save it for Halloween this year. Well, don't tell me what to play. We'll probably play for Halloween. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah,
Black Cat and Black Panther double feature.
I'm tempted to do something that disparaging just for the hell of it, but I think maybe no. We'll find a better movie to pair up with the Black Cat. So, oh yeah, wait a minute. There's that Peter Cushing anthology horror movie from the late '60s where every story revolves around an evil cat. Maybe we'll just pair that up and call it Night of...
A talking cat?
No.
Don Knotts is the love god? Pair those up together.
Movies that end with a question mark. Nothing more, nothing else.
Mad Monster Party?
Yes. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go a bit into a detour screen, so to speak, before we begin. And we're also doing this for editing purposes later, since there's a good chance this will end up on YouTube. Hopefully, maybe. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so we're going to start Detour in a little bit. Any last things you want to mention, Brayton?
Do you have a hitchhiker's thumb? Whatever that means. How I guess what a hitchhiker's thumb is the one where your thumb curls backwards unnaturally.
No. It's not that bad. So although I do let my fingernails grow a little bit on my thumbs for fighting purposes.
For shoveling coke into your nose.
No, I don't do that. That's stupid. So I absorb it through my forehead. Get in there, Coke.
Just like Carrie Fisher.
Yes, just cut to me like pouring Coca-Cola on my forehead.
You're going to have to explain this to the Coca-Cola company.
Yes. Yeah, so Keenan Wayne. So, all right, we'll be right. Ooh, it's a Criterion.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned that on the top, but we are watching the remastered, prettied up Criterion version of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty beloved film at this point, so it's nice that it got the treatment. That's kind of another great thing that happened to it. It's just lambasting in public domain for so many years that allowed it to reach a broader audience and stuff. And sometimes it works out that way.
Thank you, George Lucas.
Like It's a Wonderful Life or something. Yeah. Thank you, George Lucas.
It says George Lucas Family Foundation supplied extra funding.
Yeah.
You got to read all this.
This is the George Lucas story of meeting Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
I like to believe it. Imagine they're driving around a 50s hot rod like in American Graffiti.
Exactly. Having a pod race with whatever the name of that weird little dinosaur thing was. They're all dinosaurs.
Sebulba.
So, thank you. Again, I've only seen 3 movies.
Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and the Clone Wars movie.
I was hoping you put the Care Bear movie back in there.
Ewok Caravan of Courage movie. There you go.
I almost got excited. I thought Edmund McDonald was Edmund O'Brien. It's like, oh right, he's in this one too.
Later.
Martin Goldsmith. That's a name you want if you want people to think you can do stuff other than writing.
Erudite. He's very erudite.
Yeah. From Kiss, Mooney,
Mr. Mooney,
Omer, yeah, I already don't like this guy.
Here we are. I turned down here at the next block.
Thanks, mister. I'll get off there.
Reno at Vegas was ran by Ned Flanders.
No.
Hey, you.
Me?
Yeah, you. Where you heading?
East.
Too bad. I thought if you was heading north, I might be able to help you out. I'm pushing the Salt Lake, and I don't like to ride it alone at night. I'm one of those guys that got to talk or I fall asleep. Oh, sure, you might. My partner, he's got Lou to keep him company, but I ain't got nobody at all. Where you coming from?
West.
Yeah, sure, I know, but where, L.A.?
Maybe.
Got a cousin out in L.A.
You don't say.
Yeah, he's been out. You're not much of a talker, are you?
My mother taught me never to speak to strangers.
Oh, a wise guy.
So what?
Okay, don't get sore. Just trying to be sociable, that's all. Hey, Glamorous. You change for a dime, will you?
Let's have something quieter this time, Joe. My head's splitting.
Is that what's wrong with it?
Done with your
That's
coffee?
Esther Hill, by the way, who
No.
we
And
last,
don't rush
or
me, will
Esther
you?
Howard, who we saw in Murder My Sweet as the very, very, very drunk woman.
Oh, nice. She was fun. I was going to say, yeah, she looks like a recognizable character actor.
Yeah, what's eating you? That music, it stinks. Oh, you don't like it, huh? No, turn it off.
Oh, wait a minute, pal. That was my nickel, see? This is a free country. And I play whatever I want to. Okay.
Sure, and if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. And you can leave here anytime you want to. Okay, I'm sorry I asked. First good piece played tonight and you don't like it. Some people just ain't got any good taste.
This is what if Cheers was set in New Jersey.
I was going to say, this is what America's like when there's no minorities around. Just yelling and fighting. Oh, wait a minute.
Tune.
That was a dark
Why
joke.
was there always that rotten tune? Following me around, beating in my head, never letting up. Did you ever want to forget anything? Did you ever want to cut away a piece of your memory or blot it out?
Yeah, my last
You
joke.
can't, you know. No matter how hard you try. You can change the scenery. But sooner or later, you'll get a whiff of perfume where somebody will say a certain phrase or maybe hum something. Then you're licked again. I can't believe that you're in love with me. I used to love that song once.
Was
So
this
did the
new?
customers back in the old Break at Dawn club in New York. I can't remember a night when I didn't get at least 3 requests for it. Sue, she was always selling it too. Those were the days.
Was it just me, or was his cup a little outrageously big there?
Probably just a shot, right?
Okay. All these guys witness a murder and they all gotta go into drag soon after. Are you happy?
Your eyes are blue, your kisses too. I never knew what they could do. I can't believe that you're in love with me. You're telling everyone you know that I'm on your mind each place you go. They can't believe that you're in love with me. I have always placed you far above me. I just can't imagine that you love me. And after all is said and done, to think that I'm the lucky one, I can't believe that you're in love with me.
What amazing pipes. It's almost like she's dubbed in. Judge Mander says, I can't believe it either, lady.
It wasn't much of a club, really. You know the kind. A joint where you could have a sandwich and a few drinks and run interference for your girl on the dance floor. I pounded the piano in there every night from 8 until the place closed up, which usually meant 4 in the morning. A good job as jobs went in those days. Then, too, there was Sue, who made working there a little like working in heaven. But how we felt about each other, well, there was nothing very unusual in that. I was an ordinary healthy guy, and she was an ordinary healthy girl, and when you add those two together, you get an ordinary healthy romance, which is the old story. Sure, but somehow, the most wonderful thing in the world. All in all, I was a pretty lucky guy.
Yeah, pretend to tickle those ivories, dude.
Mr. Paderewski, I presume. It's beautiful. You're going to make Carnegie Hall yet, Al?
Yeah, as a janitor. I'll make my debut in the basement.
I don't blame you for being bitter, darling, but you mustn't give up hope. Why, someday...
Yeah, someday. If I don't get arthritis first. In the meantime, let's blow this trap.
Are these the two who hate each other behind the scenes?
No.
Okay.
Well, he's one half of the equation, but she'll be in later.
Yes.
This score also has the motif of "I'm always chasing rainbows," which I find amusing.
Like to get something to
You'll
eat,
hear
huh?
that.
Oh, I don't think so,
crop up.
Al. I lose my appetite working in this flea bag. Let's go home.
Okay.
I can't stand much more of that dump. Did you see that drunk tonight trying to paw me?
No, what drunk?
Does it matter what drunk?
Say, what's the matter with you tonight, darling? That's the third time you started to tell me something and then stopped.
That
We shouldn't have
milk
any
bottle
secrets from
got
each
stuck
other,
in the
Sue.
wall like the Philadelphia
Next week we're going to make with
experiment.
the ring and the license. You and me will be a team.
Yes, that's right. In the Bush League.
I don't get you.
We've been struck out.
It's a funny way to talk, darling. Don't you want to marry me?
Al, look, I love you. You know I do, and I want to marry you.
But
But not now. Only after we've made good. Sunday I'm going away. Oh, I know you'll think it's silly. That's why I hesitated to tell you. But I'm going to California. I want to try my luck in Hollywood.
that's the most stupid thing I ever heard of. Don't you know millions of people go out there every year and wind up polishing cuspidors? I thought you had better sense.
You sound as if you don't
Hi
think I
there.
have any talent.
That has nothing to do with it.
I'll make out all right.
Maybe. But what about me? Doesn't it mean anything to you that you're busting up all our plans? We may not see each other for years?
It won't be that long.
I thought you loved me.
I do. You know I do.
They're so loud, they're helping people leave the
Here we
fog.
are.
Guiding them out of the fog.
Al,
Same director, by the
Al,
way, as
why
well
can't
as
you
the
see
man
my
from
side?
Planet X, if you can't
I'm
tell by
young.
the fog.
We
Oh,
both
nice.
fine.
We gotta do that movie
And
one
we've got
day.
all the time in the world to settle down. Really, darling, what I'm doing is the only sane thing to do. I hate the thought of being so far away from you, but we'll be together again someday. Maybe you'll decide to come out too later on.
So long.
Al, aren't you going to kiss me goodnight?
Sure. Why not? Good night.
Later that same fog.
She could do most anything. No one else could be the same. Whatever happened to Baby Jane? It's the song he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think.
Yeah.
You can talk about the pit barbecue, doing the mess around. Yeah! Freebird!
Nobody's noticing my awesome improv skills.
Got the Poverty Row Blues.
All these songs are available on RCA Records. Are they invented yet? Is RCA even a thing at this time?
PRC Records.
Oh.
This company. Penile Replacement Corporations. As Tom Servo taught us.
Right.
I'll pay you anything to make that man stop.
I'm the producer, Mr. Mooney. Stop.
Say, Roberts, you hit the jackpot this time. $10.
Thanks.
That was like, what, roughly $30 back then? Oh, wait, no, you could buy
When
groceries
drunk
with a
handed me
nickel.
a 10 spot after a request, I couldn't get very excited. What was it, I asked myself? A piece of paper crawling with germs. Couldn't buy anything I wanted. It couldn't... Then I thought of something.
Liberace? Lee, is that you?
Long distance.
I need
Call
lessons.
through to Los Angeles. Miss Harvey.
In style.
Sue Harvey. Harvey.
Oh, we gotta do that one
The
Liberace
number is
movie.
Crestview 65723.
You want to do it again, don't you? Oh, Brayton, this is going to be a snuff film, isn't it? Oh, he's really going through those $10.
Hello, Sue? This is Al. Oh, baby, it's great to hear from you, too. What's that? You do? Oh, me too, darling. I thought I'd go batty without you. I just had to... Huh? You're working as a hashlinger? Gee, honey, that's
A
tough. Those
slasher?
guys out in Hollywood don't know the real thing when it's right in front of them. You just stick it out, Sue, baby. Keep going around to those casting offices. I'm sure you'll click. Look, I'll tell you what. You stay put out there, I'll come to you. No, don't try to stop me. Just expect me. Train? Who knows? Train, plane, bus, magic carpet. I'll be there if I have to crawl. If I have to travel by
haven't
pogo
said a
stick.
word.
And then
I was about to make the same
let's
joke.
get married right away. That's the stuff. That's what I've been wanting to hear you say. Well, goodbye for now. I'll be seeing you soon. Yeah. Bye.
I wonder what she
1-900
meant by Al who.
1-900 Lonely
The only way I
Guy
could cross my
Monologues.
troops to thumb rides. For even after hawking everything, I only had enough money to eat. Money. You know what that is. It's the stuff you never have enough
wish.
of. Little green things with George Washington's picture that men slave for, commit crimes for, die for. It's the stuff that has caused more trouble in the world than anything else we ever invented. Simply because
Turn
there's
your
too little of
monologue
it.
down.
At least I had too little of it. So it was me for the thumb.
Okay, so there's Reno, but I saw on the map there's El Reno. Is that like New Mexico to Reno?
That's your corner of the world. You tell me.
Ever done any hitchhiking? It's not much fun, believe me. Oh yeah, I know all about how it's an education, how you get to meet a lot of people and all that. But me, from now on, I'll take my education in college, or in PS 62, or I'll send $1.98 in stamps for 10 easy lessons.
And then there was this time-traveling pilgrim who insisted he needed more penicillin. I don't know what that was about.
Thumbing rides may save you bus fare, but it's dangerous. You never know what's in store for you when you hear the squeal of brakes. If only I had known what I was getting into that day in Arizona.
Here, throw that in the back seat. Okay, let's go. Make sure that door is closed.
Turn off the background, too. Oh, he looks familiar. Well, this is Dual Country.
You know, Emily Post ought to write a book of rules for guys thumbing rides. Because as it is now, you never know what's right and what's wrong. We rode along for a little while, neither one of us saying anything. I was glad of that. I never know what to say to strange people driving cars. Then, too, you can never tell if a guy wants to talk. A lot of rides have been cut short because of a big mouth. So I kept my mouth shut until he started opening up.
Hand me that little box in the compartment, will you, pal? Hold the wheel, will you? How far are you going?
L.A.
Wow, you're really traveling, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't expect to make it for a couple of years at the rate I've been promoting rides.
Not much luck, huh?
Sure, all bad. Not many people stop for a guy these days. Afraid of a stick-up, maybe.
They can't blame them. Where you coming from?
New York?
Well, New York. You're in luck this time. I'm going all the way. Right through to Los Angeles. You drive a car?
Sure. Whenever you're tired, let me know.
I'll holler.
That scared me.
I guess at least an hour passed before I noticed those deep scratches in his right hand. They were wicked. 3 puffy red lines about 1/4 of an inch apart.
Oh, just like my cans when I play with the cats.
As he said,
Beauties, aren't they? They're gonna be scars someday. What an animal.
whatever it was, it must have been pretty big and vicious to have done that.
Right on both counts, New York. I was tussling with the most dangerous animal in the world. A woman.
She must have been Tarzan's mate. Looks like you lost the bout.
Certainly wasn't a draw. You know, there ought to be a law against dames with claws.
Yeah.
I tossed her out of the car in there.
Yes.
Was I wrong?
Ought to be a law against
Give a
dames
lift
with
to a tomato, you
claws.
expect her to be nice, don't
Hear that,
you?
Fluffy?
After all, what kind of dame some rides? Sunday school teachers?
Yeah.
A little witch. She must have thought she was riding with some fall guy. And me, who's been booking horses around racetracks since I was 20. I've known a million dames like her. 2 million.
Yeah.
Stopped the car, opened the door.
Get on the
Take it
floor.
on the Arthur Duffy sister, I told her.
Walk the damn
That was
dinosaur.
done, huh? But if you want to see a real scar, brother, get a load of this. What? I got that one, Julie.
Julie?
Yeah, we're just kidding, of course. My dad owned a couple of Franco-Prussian sabers. Kept them on the wall for decorations. Well, one day, another kid and I took them down. When the old man wasn't around, had a duel. He got me in the arm here. Pretty mean cut. Infection set in later.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, give me that box again, will you?
Yeah.
Better be some peroxide in that car.
Pain made me lose my head, I guess. Began slashing. Before I knew it, I'd put the other kid's eye out.
That was tough.
Well, it was just an accident, of course. But you know how kids are. I got scared and decided I was going to run away from home. Old man almost caught me when I was packing my duds. The bloody rag I had wrapped around my wrist hadn't caught his attention. Just seen the bundle for sure. But I beat it when he was phoning for a doctor. That was 15, 16 years ago. I haven't been home since. Pull in there for a bite or something, huh?
A bite or something. Brother, was I hungry. I hadn't had anything in my stomach for hours. Yet even with that gnawing in the pit of my belly, I didn't want to be in too big a rush to put on the feed bag. First, I had to make sure this guy knew the score. If I got him down on me, it was goodbye ticket to Hollywood.
An ape suddenly
I'll wait
shows
out
up
here
and
for you,
stabs them
mister.
both.
If it's the money, don't worry about paying for it. This time it's on me.
With a gun.
Well, that's white of you, Mr.
Haskell, think nothing of it. You make your first million, maybe you can do the same for me. Come on, New York. I gotta make the West Coast by Wednesday. There's a horse running at Santa Anita named Pirate Bicycle. Means dough to me if I'm on him.
We'll make it all right. He did most of the talking during the half hour we were in the place. I ate. He rambled on about his old man, whom we hadn't heard from since he ran away as a kid. Now we have
I ate more.
Then all about how he got rooked in Miami.
One race, 38 grand. They cleaned out my book. How do you like that?
That was tough luck.
Yeah, and I'm supposed to be the smart guy. Well, you just wait. I'm going back to Florida next season with all kinds of jack. And you watch those stinkers run for cover. Want anything else?
No, thanks. I've had plenty.
Is this a talented Mr. Ripley type situation?
Let's check this.
It gets there.
Okay.
Oh, just a minute. Your change, sir.
Keep it, sister.
Oh, thank you, sir. Call again.
I'll be waiting outside for you when you finish work. Sharp check, huh?
I'm gonna use that terminology in my casual flirting. Sharp chick.
Sharp that night while Haskell
Yeah.
slept like a log.
I'm gonna get slapped
After a
so
while,
much.
I began to get sleepy myself.
Rightfully so.
I was happy, though. Soon I'd be with Sue again. The long trip was practically over, and there'd be no more hoofing it down the concrete. I began to think of the future, which couldn't have been brighter if I'd embroidered it with neon lights. It was nice to think of Sue shooting to the top. It's amazing what a full belly can do to your imagination.
Your eyes, ooh, your kisses too.
the Shadowy Trio.
What they could do. I can't believe that you're in love with me.
Well, it's the same song from before.
Telling everyone you
He's dreaming of her.
know I'm on your mind each place you go. I can't believe that you're in love with me.
So you can only sing that one song.
You want them to write 2 songs for the movie?
Can't afford that, right? Damn
Mr.
it.
Haskell.
They made this in 2 weeks.
Mr. Haskell. Mr. Haskell, wake up. It's raining. Don't you think we ought to stop and put up the top?
Eddie Haskell, wake up.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta go egg Beaver's house.
Oh, is this where he... Oh, no, did he die?
Mr. Haskell, I'm going to put up the top.
Take your sweet time, sir. Oh, what am I kidding? I'd probably be hours trying to figure this out.
Up until then, I had done things my way. But from then on, something else stepped in and shunted me off to a different destination than one I had picked for myself. For when I pulled open that door...
Oh!
Mr. Haskell, what's the matter? Are you hurt? Are you hurt, Mr. Haskell? Start your sermon. I'll listen to it. But I know what you're going to hand me even before you open your mouths. You're going to tell me you don't believe my story of how Haskell died and give me that don't make me laugh expression on your smug faces. I saw it once he was dead, and I was in for it. Who would believe he fell out of the car? Why, if Haskell came too, which of course he couldn't, even he would swear I conked him over the head for his dough. Yes, I was in for it. Instinct told me to run, but then I realized it was hopeless. There were lots of people back down the road who could identify me. That gas station guy and the waitress. I would be in a worse spot then, trying to explain why I beat it. The next possibility was to sit tight and tell the truth when the cops came. But that would be crazy. They'd laugh at the truth. And I'd have my head in a noose. So what else was there to do but hide the body and get away in the car? I couldn't leave the car there with him in the gully. That would be like erecting a tombstone.
How to dispose your red skeleton.
My idea was to cover him with brush, not to rob him. But then I remembered that even if I only drove the car for 100 miles or so, I would need money for gas. Besides, it was stupid of me to leave all that money on a dead man. Not only that, I'd have to take his driver's license in case I was stopped for something. I didn't like to think about it, but by that time I'd done just what the police would say I did, even if I didn't. My clothes. The owner of such an expensive car would never be wearing them. Some cop might pull me in on suspicion.
Five hours later, I finally figured out how to do the top.
Hey, you, this your car? Don't you know better than to leave a car with the wheels halfway in the middle of the road? That's the way accidents happen.
I'm sorry, officer. I was just putting up my top. I didn't think.
Well, the next time, think. I'll let you go now, but watch your step in the future. I know that's a lonely stretch, but cars come by here once in a while, and we have plenty of crack-ups.
Thanks, officer.
Crack-ups, he said, or crackers?
Crack-ups.
Okay.
People going nuts.
Ah.
Cracking up. Cracker!
That car looks like it belongs to the Penguin.
I left nothing in the car to give me away as Roberts. If they found a dead man in the gully now, it would be me. As I drove off, it was still raining.
The drops streaked down the windshield like tears. I kept imagining I was being followed and that I could hear sirens back in the distance. Just how long it took me to cover the 60-odd miles to the California state line, I don't know. I lost all track of time. But the rain had stopped and the sun was up when I pulled up to the inspection station.
Hello? Carrying any fruits or vegetables? No. Any livestock or poultry?
No.
I'd like to see your registration and driver's license, please. Anything in the baggage compartment?
Just baggage.
Charles Haskell, Jr., age 30, brown eyes, dark hair. Identifying marks, none. Are you Charles Haskell, Jr.?
Yes.
Well, remember, if you're employed and you stay over 30 days, you take out California plates.
All right, officer, but I'll only be in the state a short while.
Right, you can go now.
If it was only that easy.
I couldn't drive any farther without some sleep. Cops or no cops, I knew I had to hit the hay and hit it hard. I was dead tired.
Me and the murder bird mobile had to stop. I can't improv. My pajamas match the blanket, see?
No. No, you can't, Mr. Haskell. No. Mr. Haskell, you can't die. Don't think I did it. No, Mr. Haskell. No. No.
Who's there?
It's the maid. Can I come in and clean?
Later. In a half hour.
All right, sir.
Damn it, I was muted and I made a land shark joke.
No. It's never too late.
Moment's gone.
Gave you an opportunity. Oh, my fingers.
There was no time to lose.
It's in the
Every
wind.
minute I had to be Charles Haskell was dangerous. And I'd have to be Charles Haskell until I got to some city where I could leave the car and be swallowed up. That meant driving the car as far as San Bernardino, maybe even to Los Angeles. In a little town, I might be noticed, but in a city, I should be safe enough. Then, after I ditched the car, I could go on to Sioux. But those 5 minutes at the state line made me realize it might be a good idea to find out a little bit about Mr. Haskell. Then, if anybody asked me questions, I could give the right answers. The first thing I found out was that I had $768. This was a lot of jack.
Yeah.
But believe me, it was the kind of money I'd rather not have.
Could buy 1 billion groceries with that money.
And then I found out from a letter Haskell was carting around in his bag that he wasn't the open-handed, easygoing big shot who went around buying dinners for strange hitchhikers. Before I got done reading it, I saw him more as a chiseler. It was written to his old man in California, the one he hadn't seen in so many years. In it, Haskell posed as a salesman of hymnals, of all things. It was easy to see where Haskell expected to raise a new stake for his book in Miami by rooking his old man. That was about all I found out from his effects, and it was enough. I told myself maybe old man Haskell was lucky his son kicked off. He would never know it, but it saved him from taking a flyer in Sacred Literature Preferred.
I hated Haskell now after reading his biography. And his made-up self.
A rascal named Haskell.
Yeah.
Biography.
The book cover is just him completely doing a somersault into a rock.
Near the airport at Desert Center, I pulled up for water. There was a woman.
Hey, you! Come on if you want to ride.
If a vulture was in human form.
Her last name is Savage.
Sucker and fresh meat in one. Why did I do a pirate? I don't know.
Thought you were doing Jack Black. Same difference.
Minecraft movie. Rigadoo, I'm in Minecraft. Kyle, you made me angry. Oh, her hair turned red.
How far are you going?
How far are you going?
That took me by surprise, and I turned my head to look her over. She was facing straight ahead, so I couldn't see her eyes. But she was young, not more than 24. Man, she looked as if she'd just been thrown off the crummiest freight train in the world. Yet, in spite of this, I got the impression of beauty. Not the beauty of a movie actress, mind you, or the beauty you dream about when you're with your wife, but a natural beauty. A beauty that's almost homely because it's so real.
Like Dave Foley.
Then suddenly she turned to face me.
How far did you say you were going?
Los Angeles?
L.A.? L.A.'s good enough for me, mister.
That's what I was afraid of.
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing, just thinking out loud.
People get in trouble for doing that.
What's your name?
You can call me Vera if you like.
You live in Los Angeles?
No.
Where are you coming from?
Oh, back there.
Needles?
No.
Oh, sure, Phoenix. You look just like a Phoenix girl.
Are the girls in Phoenix that bad?
The girl must have been pretty tired, because she fell asleep not 20 minutes after she stepped into the car. She lay sprawled out with her head resting against the far door, like Haskell. I didn't like that part of it much, but I didn't wake her up. It wasn't that this girl still worried me. I'd gotten over that funny feeling I had when she looked at me, which I put down as just my jangled nerves. With her eyes closed and the tenseness gone out of her, she seemed harmless enough. And instead of disliking her, I began to feel sorry for her. The poor kid probably had had a rough time of it. Who was she, anyway? And why was she going to Los Angeles? And where'd she come from in the first place? The only thing I knew about her was her name. Not that it made any difference. A few hours more and we'd be in Hollywood. I'd forget where I parked the car and look up Sue. This nightmare of being a dead man would be over. Who this dame was, well, it was no business of mine.
I could read your mind.
Where did you leave his body? Where did you leave the owner of this car? You're not fooling anyone. This buggy belongs to a guy named Haskell. That's not you, mister.
You're out of your mind. That's my name, Charles Haskell. I can prove it. It's my driver's
Save
license.
yourself the trouble, mister. Having Haskell's wallet only makes it worse. It just so happens I rode with Charlie Haskell, all the way from Louisiana. He picked me up outside of Shreveport.
You rode?
You heard me.
Then it all came
Oh,
back.
fuck. She saw the first reel.
Talk about you with the scars and scratches.
She's a fan,
There's no doubt
100%
about it.
weird.
Vera must be the woman Haskell had mentioned. She must have passed me while I slept.
Well, I'm waiting.
My goose was cooked. She had me. That Haskell guy wasn't dead yet. He wasn't stretched out stiff and cold in any Arizona gully. He was sitting right there in the car, laughing like mad while he haunted me.
Well?
There was nothing I could say. It was her move. Vera, whatever her name was, it was just my luck picking her up on the road. It couldn't have been Helen, or Mary, or Evelyn, or Ruth. It had to be the very last person I should ever have met. That's life.
Oh, the Scar Lady.
Whichever way you turn, fate sticks out a foot to trip you.
Yes.
As Shay says, that's one crazy coinky dink. He says coincidence, but I like saying
I told her
coinky
everything,
dink.
but she didn't believe my story. I should have saved my breath.
That's the greatest cock and bull story I ever heard. So he fell out of his car. Say, who do you think you're talking to, a hick? Listen, mister, I've been around, and I know a wrong guy when I see one.
What'd you do, kiss him with a wrench?
Now, wait a minute. What I told you was true. You see, that's why I had to do it. You think I killed him. Well, the cops would have thought so, too.
Yeah, well, maybe they still think so. What makes you so sure I'll shut up about this?
Vera, I'm innocent. Give me a break, will you?
It won't do me any good having you pinched. The cops are no friends of mine. Now, if there was a reward, but there isn't.
Thanks.
Don't thank me yet. I'm not through with you by a long shot. Let's see that roll. Is that all Haskell had?
Isn't it enough?
No, I thought he had more.
Not that I know of. You can search me. You think I'm holding out on you?
Well, maybe I will at that. He told me he was going to bet $3,000 on a horse named Paradisical on Wednesday at Santa Anita.
He was stringing you along. He meant 300.
Maybe.
Sure, $3, 300. He was a piece of cheese, a big blowhard.
Listen, mister, don't try and tell me anything about Charlie Haskell. Remember, I knew him better than you did.
Okay, then you knew he was a four-flusher. That explains the $3,000 bet.
I'm not so sure he didn't have that $3,000. Why should I believe you? You got all the earmarks of a cheap crook.
Now, wait a
Shut
minute.
up. You're a cheap crook and you killed him. For 2 cents, I'd change my mind and turn you in. I don't like you.
All right. Don't get sore.
I'm not getting sore. But just remember who's boss around here. If you shut up and don't give me any arguments, you'll have nothing to worry about. But if you act wise, well, mister, you'll pop into jail so fast it'll give you the bends.
I'm not arguing.
This is my alternate timeline woman's self.
I'd hate to see a fella as young as you wind
Yes,
up
we've had
sniffing that
arguments
perfume
like
that
this at
Arizona
G-Fest,
hands
ladies
out
and
free to
gentlemen.
murderers.
I'm not a murderer.
Of course you're not. Haskell knocked his own head off.
He fell. That's how it happened, just like I told you.
Sure, and then he made you a present of his belongings.
I explained why I had to do that.
Doesn't make a difference one way or another. I'm not a mourner. I liked Haskell even less than I like you.
Yeah, I saw what you did to him.
What do you mean?
Well, scratches on his wrist.
Sure, I scratched him.
Don't say you did.
So your idea was to drive the car a little way, maybe into San Bernardino, and then leave it. You weren't gonna sell it?
Sell it? You think I'm crazy? Somebody else's car? See, all I want to do is leave it somewhere and forget I ever saw it.
Not only don't you have any scruples, you don't have any brains.
I don't get you.
Maybe it's a good thing you met me. You'd have got yourself caught, sure. Why, you dope. Don't you know a deserted automobile always rates an investigation?
Huh?
Look, the cops find a car. Then they get curious. They wonder where the owner is. So, all right, they don't trace Haskell. They trace you.
I never thought of that.
The only safe way to get rid of the car is to sell it to a dealer. Get it registered under a new name. Say, stop at the next store. I want to get a bottle and do some shopping before we hit L.A.
Okay. As soon as we find a place, I'll drop you off and pick you up later.
Nothing doing. You're coming in, too. From now on, you and I are like the Siamese twins.
Have it your way, but I don't get the point.
The point is, I don't want you to get lost.
I'm not going to beat it if that's what you're afraid of.
I'll say you're not. Well, I'm going to see that you sell this car so you don't get caught.
See?
Thanks. Of course, your interest wouldn't be financial, would it? You would want a small percentage of the profits.
Well, now that you insist, how can I refuse? 100% will do.
Fine. I'm relieved. I thought for a moment you were going to take it all.
I don't want to be a hog.
Oink.
A few hours later, we were in Hollywood. I was recognizing places Sue had written about. It struck me that far from being at the end of the trip, there was a greater distance between Sue and me than when I started out.
Vera wasn't kidding with
They
that
both beat up
Siamese
Elmo
twins
and took
crack.
away his clothes.
She rented a little apartment as Mrs. Charles Haskell. When I objected to this, she explained that it was on account of the car.
That's fucking dark,
The dealer
right?
might think something was funny if he called and
Elmo's a
using different
child.
names.
No, I'm talking about the Hollywood Elmo. He's slightly bigger and he smells.
Oh, all right.
Home, sweet home.
And racist.
Yeah.
Or is that
Not
New
bad
York
either.
Elmo?
I know someone's problematic. By the way, she's like has like a harpy like charm to her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Keep the window shut.
Okay.
The old crow downstairs said there's a folding bed behind this door. You know how to work it?
I invented it. Some joint.
One can't have everything. I'm first in the bathtub.
I don't know why, but I figured you would be.
feels good to be clean again. I must be 10 pounds lighter.
Massage my feathers.
Well, hitching rides isn't exactly the way you keep your schoolgirl complexion.
I wish that guy with the sax would give up. Gets on my nerves.
Did you just break the fourth wall?
Have a drink.
Aren't you afraid I might take you up on it?
If I didn't want to give you a drink, I wouldn't have offered it. Why be a sorehead, Roberts? You got yourself into this thing. You should be grateful I'm not turning you in. Why, if I wasn't regular, you'd be in the pen this minute, being photographed, fingerprinted, and being pushed around by the cops. So cheer up. Get rid of that long puss. Or is your conscience bothering you?
No. It isn't.
Swell. That's the spirit. He's dead and no woman around will bring him back.
What about necromancer
Anyway.
Sally?
I never could understand this worrying about something that's over and done with.
Now look, Vera, for the last time I didn't kill him. Haskell was a sick man. Maybe he was dead before he fell out of the car. I don't know.
Sure, he died of old age. All right. So it'll make you sociable? You didn't kill him.
Thanks.
Oh, that's filled with poison.
We're out of liquor, Roberts.
Yeah.
Too bad.
4 years
I
later.
felt like getting tight tonight.
Well, I think you succeeded.
Am I tight?
As a prima donna's corset.
That's good. I wanted to get tight.
Why? What have you got to get tight about?
Oh, I don't know. Few things.
You should have my worries.
If I had your troubles, I'd stay sober. And I've got the key to that door.
Yeah. Maybe you're right.
I'm always right. You know, I don't like your attitude, Roberts.
Well, there's a lot of things I don't like.
Sure. But life's like a ball game. You gotta take a swing at whatever comes along before you wake up and find it's a ninth inning.
I bet you read that somewhere.
That's the trouble with you, Roberts. All you do is bellyache. Instead of taking it easy and, well, trying to make the best of things. But maybe that's what's wrong with the whole world.
Get the professor.
People knock themselves out trying to buck fate. Now, take you, for instance. You're lucky to be alive. Why, suppose Haskell had pulled open your door. You'd be playing a harp now. Think of that.
You think of it. I'm tired of thinking.
There's plenty of people dying this minute. I would give anything to trade places with you. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm not so sure. At least they know they're done for. They don't have to sweat blood wondering if they are.
Your philosophy stinks, pal. We all know we're gonna kick off someday. It's only a question of when. But what's got us on this subject anyway? We'll be discussing politics next.
Yeah. Where'd you hide the butts?
On the table, sucker.
Zip. Oh. Oh man, I talked over my favorite line in the movie. On the table, sucker.
We bored each other with conversation for a couple of hours longer. Every 5 minutes, one of us was wishing we had another bottle or a radio or something to read.
And knives. Don't forget the knives.
Then finally, we ran out of chatter. I know it's only 11 o'clock, but I want to get up early and make the rounds of the used car lots.
95% of marriages during
Got all
COVID.
the time in the world.
Maybe you have, but if you think I want to stay cooped up in this place any
Can't
longer
get
than I have
away
to, you're
from
batty.
It's not a bad place. Pay plenty for diggings like this in New York.
I wouldn't like it if it was the Ritz.
The Snipe and the Pushover tonight on ABC.
Something about it.
I'll be all right.
That's what Camille said. Nobody you know.
Wasn't that the dame that died of consumption?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a break for you if I did kick off? You'd be free with all Haskell's dough and car.
I don't want to see anybody die.
Not even me.
Especially not you. One person died of me. If you did, well, that's all I need.
You don't like me, do you, Roberts?
No.
Like you. I love you. My favorite sport is being kept prisoner.
After we sell the car, you can go to blazes for all I care, but not until then.
I'm going to bed.
Cut the stock footage of two sharks mating.
Good night, Roberts. Don't try and sneak away during the night. All the doors are locked. Anyway, if I find you gone in the morning, I'll notify the police. They'll pick you up.
Don't worry, I know when I'm in a spot.
Well, good night. I hope that portable rack isn't too uncomfortable for you.
Don't lose any sleep over it, will you, Vera?
Hello, operator. What does scare rouse mean?
Take that floor. I never liked you.
Few. 6, 5, 7, 2, 3.
Hello? 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 Hello?
No. Not yet, darling. Tomorrow. Maybe.
13 years later.
If this were fiction, I would fall in love with Vera, marry her, and make a respectable woman of her. Or else she'd make some supreme Class A sacrifice for me and die. Sue and I would bawl a little over her grave and make some crack about there's good in all of us. But Vera, unfortunately, was just as rotten in the morning as she'd been the night before.
All right, I'm coming.
Look, Vera, it's almost noon.
So what? The dealers will be there all day.
I'll be there all year, too, but that doesn't mean I'm going to wait that long.
Shut up. You're making noises like a husband. Well, do I rate a whistle?
You sure do, but let's go.
Let's go, let's go. I spent $85 in 2 hours preparing bait, and all you can say is let's go. Come on.
We passed a few used car lots last night down this way.
What do you think we can get for this heap?
I don't know. Plenty. You just let me handle everything.
Think we can get $2,000?
I don't know, but don't worry. I'll squeeze as much out of this guy as I can. If I let it go cheap without a fight, he might think we've stolen the car. And listen, don't make any slips and call me Roberts. That'll cook us.
I don't need you to tell me that.
You better just sit by and keep your mouth closed. Remember, we're both in the soup if anything happens.
Forget it and drive.
You're my wife, Vera Haskell.
Look, after the deal's closed, let's go back to that place on Hollywood Boulevard where I saw the fur jacket. I want to buy it.
After the deal's closed, I'm saying goodbye to you.
That's right, I forgot. I guess I'm getting kind of used to you.
Well, that's a habit you can start breaking. Let's try this place in the middle of the block.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you?
We're interested in selling a car.
If the price is right.
Well, if it's in good mechanical condition, it should blue book for about $1,600. Tony, take a look at this motor.
1,600. Are you kidding?
They find Haskell's corpse in the back seat in the trunk. No.
Now that's
Well, maybe
priceless.
$1,850.
Mm-hmm.
Before I let it go for $1,850, I'll wreck it and collect the insurance first.
Lady, this motor's seen a lot of driving.
Well, the mechanic inspected the car. We haggled. At last, when we were all worn out, we hit a compromise. His price. Okay, it's a deal.
All right, come in. We'll sign the papers.
I have the ownership papers right here with me. Look, Vera, in the meantime, will you clean out the dash compartment? There may be some stuff in it.
All right, darling.
1850 isn't too bad.
$150. That dirty crook.
Plot point.
New York, huh?
Yeah.
But you bought the car in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, now let's see about the insurance. We can either have it transferred or canceled. What kind of insurance do you have, Mr. Haskell?
Well, aren't all the papers there?
I don't see any. Surely you know what type of insurance you carry in the car. The name of the company?
Yeah, but,
Well, if you'll just tell me the name of the company, I'd be very glad to take care of all the details.
well,
Did you sign the papers yet?
not yet.
Well, don't. We're not selling the car.
Oh, wait a minute, Miss Haskell.
Come on, darling.
What's the matter? You changed your mind?
Yes, I'm sorry. I guess I have.
But, Vera...
Let's go.
You got me out of a tight spot, Vera. But I still don't understand all this.
You will in a minute. I almost threw away a gold mine.
1850 isn't to be sneezed at. The car doesn't book for as much as I thought.
We're not selling the car.
You want to keep it. Now, wait a minute, Vera. You said yourself I wouldn't be safe until the car was in someone else's name. I'd like to be free of this mess when I go.
That's just it, Roberts. You're not going. There's a drive-in at the next corner. Pull in there and we'll get a bite to eat. And I'll explain.
What is this, another one of your brilliant ideas?
Sailor Moon?
Make mine a ham sandwich and coffee.
And for you, sir?
Oh, I don't care. The same.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Doomzilla. He's just joined
Get
us.
this, Vera. I've been pretty patient so far. I've done everything you asked me to do, but no more.
Shut up.
You've taken Haskell's money. And you can have the dough we get from selling the car. But you're not going to keep me a prisoner.
It's a good thing I bought the paper. Take a look at that.
Vera, I'm in no mood.
Read that.
No.
Yes.
No, I won't do it.
Yes, you will.
You think I'm crazy? It's impossible, I tell you.
Excuse me. Blow the horn when you're through.
No one could possibly get away with an act like that. It'd be wise to me in a minute.
Don't be yellow. You look enough like him. The same coloring and the same build. See how his clothes fit you? No kidding, you almost had me fooled for a while.
Oh, grow up, Vera. Don't you think a father knows his own son? And there must be other relatives.
The father won't have to know you. We'll wait till he gives up the ghost. He's an old geezer and he won't pull through. And as far as other relatives are concerned, they haven't seen you in 15 or 20 years. Eat.
I'm not hungry. And I won't do it.
It's not as tough as it sounds. Remember, you've got all kinds of identification. His car, letters, license.
I could never get away with it. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The old boy has scads of dough. Look in the paper there. Personal fortune assessed at over 15 million. He'll leave plenty, I tell you.
Maybe he cut off his son. How do we know? It's out, Vera. I won't have anything to do with it.
I think you will.
Look, Vera, I'll do anything within reason. But not that. So forget it. Find yourself another stooge.
I won't do that.
Thank
You'll
you.
be for the rest of your life as Charlie Haskell.
Thank you.
You can take your inheritance and go away. No more worrying about the rent, no sweating, scheming, wondering where your next meal's coming from. Think about that, Roberts.
Vera, please, you're talking too loud.
On this, I'm splitting 50-50 with you. Sure, why not? We're both alike, both born in the same gutter.
Now, take it easy, Vera. There's people around here. You don't know what you're talking about.
We'll wait till we read that old man Haskell's dead. Then you show up. Like you read in New York that he was sick.
No. Suppose he doesn't die.
He will. I know he will. Something tells me.
But as much as I insisted I would have no part of her scheme, Vera was taking it for granted I would. Neither of us had our mind on the cards as we played that night. I knew we were just trying to kill time between newspaper editions. This was a death watch for Vera. Maybe it was for me, too. Don't you realize if I'm caught, they'll want to know where I got the car and stuff, and they'll have me on a murder charge.
If you're smart, you won't get caught. I knocked with 7.
And if I'm caught, don't you realize you'll be out, too?
18 points. That gives me 30. How will I be out?
You'll be out $1,850 we would have gotten on the car. Really, Vera, you'd be an awful chump if you threw away all that dough on a dizzy long shot. Let me sell the bus tomorrow. With the money it'll bring and what you've already got, a clever kid like you can run it up in no time. Then we'd both be in the clear.
I'll be in the clear anyway.
Maybe. Maybe. But if I got caught, I'd get good and sort you, you know.
You mean you'd squeal?
Oh, no, not squeal exactly.
Never mind what you meant. Even if you did tell the cops I was in on it with you, what could they do to me? They might give me the same medicine they gave you.
Yeah.
A rope. But I'm on my way anyhow. All they'll be doing will be rushing it.
All right. But think of the 1850 you'd lose. You'd kick yourself along the block if you ever let it get away from you.
I'll take the chance. Want another drink?
You're being a goon. That's the way people wind up behind the 8-ball. Once they get a few dollars, they become greedy and want more.
My.
Caesar.
Who?
You know that Roman general? He got his for being greedy. He wasn't satisfied, so the final windup was he took the count. A couple of days ago, you didn't have a dime.
You also
Why,
screwed
were so
over the
broke
common
you couldn't pay
folks
cash
in
for a postage
taxes.
stamp. Now you've got almost $700 with $1,850 in the offing. Take my advice. Don't try for more.
I'm tired of this game. Let's have some blackjack.
Play solitaire.
Okay, I will if that's the way you feel about it.
That's the way I feel about it.
Getting sore and throwing things won't help much, Roberts. I'm really doing you a favor. I help you out of a jam by keeping my mouth shut. I show you how to make some soft money. And what thanks do I get?
Thanks.
Sure. Or would you rather call the cops and told him you killed a man and stole his
didn't
money?
kill anybody.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. You know I didn't.
All right, then. Suppose I call the cops. If you're innocent, what do you got to be scared of?
Okay. Call him, you mutt. Go ahead and call him. See if I care. At least they'll give me a square deal.
You want me to call them?
You heard me. But I'm warning you. If I'm pinched, I'll swear you were in on it. I'll say that you helped me. If I fry, I'll get even with you.
You wouldn't dare. You didn't.
Yeah? Then try it and see. Call him. Yeah.
Okay, I will.
I don't think Vera is going to be with us any longer in this movie.
Information? I want the number at the Hollywood police station. Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Wait a minute, Vera. You wouldn't do that.
Oh, wouldn't I? Give me that and I'll show you if I would.
Take it easy now. Let's talk this over.
This was early in the evening, and the conversation, while hectic, was at least pitched low. But as the minutes passed, and more obstacles to her plan popped into my head, the air got blue. Each word coming from our lips cracked like a whip. I reminded her that as Charles Haskell, I didn't even know my mother's name, where I'd gone to school, the name of my best friend, whether I had an Aunt Emma or not, my religion, and if I'd ever owned a dog. I didn't even know what my middle initial stood for. I also pointed out that the real Haskell had a scar on his forearm.
His people never saw that scar. He told me he ran away right after putting out the kid's eye.
Yeah, but his father knew he was cut. It'd have to be some kind of a mark.
So what? The old man's dead, or will be. I hope by tomorrow morning's papers. Anyway, you could cut yourself a little, couldn't you? Boy, for that kind of dough, I'd let you cut my leg off.
You're drunk and you're crazy mad, Vera. Turn me in if you want to, but I won't get mixed up in this. Besides, how do we know Haskell was such a phony? Maybe it wasn't the man's son at all. Maybe he just dreamed it up.
Well, dream it or not, you won't be dreaming when the law taps you on the shoulder. There's a cute little gas chamber waiting for you, Roberts. And I hear extradition to Arizona's a cinch. Where's that phone?
Vera!
Leave me alone,
Vera!
Here. I want a phone call, police. I hate you, yellow stinker. You leave me alone.
I'll let you alone when you promise to leave the phone where it is. You're drunk. You don't know what you're doing.
You're hurting me.
Will you promise?
All right. You hurt me.
I'm sorry, but...
And it's hot in here. Open up a window.
It's not hot.
Don't tell me. Now, do you do it or do I do it?
What's the name of the movie? Detour?
You're no gentleman, see?
Yeah. All right. I'll open up the window. Vera! Vera, open the door. Please open the door. Vera, open the door. Don't use the phone. Listen to me.
I
don't like you, Roberts. You're no gentleman, see? You hurt my hand, and I'm going to get even with you.
If you don't open the door, I'm going to kick it down, Vera. Vera, don't call the cops. Listen to me. I'll do anything you say. Vera, let me in. I'll break the phone.
This is where a pair of scissors comes in handy. Oh wait, did he accidentally choke her? Oh my goodness.
The world is full of skeptics. I know. I wonder.
Her call's been disconnected.
In the Haskell business, how many of you would believe he fell out of the car? And now, after killing Vera without really meaning to do it, how many of you would believe it wasn't premeditated? In a jury room, every last man of you would go down shouting that she had me over a barrel and my only out was force. The room was still. So quiet that for a while I wondered if I had suddenly gone deaf.
The
It was
cameraman
pure
is
fear, of
drunk.
course. And I was hysterical. But without making a sound. Vera was dead. And I was her murderer. Murderer? What an awful word that is. But I'd become one. I'd better not get caught. What evidence there was around the place had to be destroyed. And from the looks of things, there was plenty. Looking around the room at things we'd bought was like looking into the faces of 100 people who'd seen us together and who remembered me. This was the kind of testimony I couldn't rub out. No. I could burn clothes and hide bottles for the next 5 years. There'd always be witnesses. The landlady, for one. She could identify me. The car dealer, the waitress in the drive-in, the girl in the dress shop, and that guy in the liquor store. They could all identify me.
Oh, she's alive.
I was cooked. Done for. I had to get out of there. While once I'd remained beside a dead body, planning carefully how to avoid being accused of killing him, this time I couldn't. This time I was guilty. I knew it. Felt it. I was like a guy suffering from shock. Things were whirling around in my head. I couldn't make myself think right. All I could think of was the guy with the saxophone and what he was playing. It wasn't a love song anymore. It was a dirge.
Saxophone. Saxophone. Homer. Shay says, cooked like a hard-boiled egg, this man. He also says, she was grating, but she didn't deserve that. Of course, everyone collectively said, wow, holy shite.
I heard the ELO song Telephone Line play in my head as I left the scene.
But my problems weren't solved. I had to stay away from New York for all time. Because Al Roberts was listed as dead and had to stay dead. And I could never go back to Hollywood. Someone might recognize me as Haskell. Then, too, there was Sue. I could never go to her with a thing like this hanging over my head. All I could do was pray she'd be happy. I was in Bakersfield before I read that Vera's body was discovered. And that the police were looking for Haskell in connection with his wife's murder. Isn't that a laugh? Haskell got me into this mess, and Haskell was getting me out of it. The police were searching for a dead man. I keep trying to forget what happened. And wonder what my life might have been if that car of Haskell's hadn't stopped. But one thing I don't have to wonder about. I know. Someday a car will stop to pick me up that I never thumbed. Yes. Fate, or some mysterious force, can put the finger on you or me for no good reason at all.
Don't let this happen to you.
Avoid fingers at all times. Lop them off.
Oh, wait, no, next movie, hold off. Holy crap.
That's a whole lot of baggage in little mama Jama.
Yeah. Not Haskell's very bad, no good, rotten, horrible day.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's pretty unique, and Tom Neal again as your character. Al Roberts is that character. He's crucial to the film's oppressive tone because he is just incapable of a smile, that guy. Like, and when he does smile, when he's on the phone with his girl, it looks incredibly awkward.
Mhm.
His face is just devoid of life. And so this sort of, the jittery, haunted demeanor that he has is as a narrator, he's wholly unreliable, and it's framed in a way that and him, continuing to use the term fate, it's framed obviously in a way that suggests that he's just, making himself the victim in every single scenario that comes across. Somebody gets in the car and just happens to die.
Mhm.
I meet this woman and she just happens to be strangled with a phone cord. You wouldn't believe it. I know you wouldn't, but it's true.
Yeah, he could have gotten
So-
away with Haskell, it's like that didn't seem too suspicious, but yeah, the Vera thing, that's like murder
Yeah.
one person, fool me once, murder two people, fool me no, wait, no. I don't know how that goes. I'm
I just like the voiceover is a trope of noir, but I like the part of it here where it's it's delivered in a whiny, self-pitying tone that really makes you question his version of events and adds to the whole theme of it. But yeah, I don't know, but you can totally picture an entirely different chain of events. Did Haskell really die by accident? Did
Mhm.
Vera actually entangle herself? Because it's kind of unbelievable that would happen. I don't care how drunk you are. It's you kind of purposely have to go out of your way to wind yourself up like that with the cord.
Oh yeah, definitely. So yeah, now thinking about it, the physics don't make sense. Yeah, he killed her.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so with that said though, yeah, can we talk about Vera?
Sure, she's got some hostility
Yeah,
issues.
played by the ironically named actress Anne Savage. Holy, yeah, it's like I said, when I made a joke when we first saw her, she was like a human equivalent of a vulture and an owl. But yeah, no, if they needed talking roles for harpies back in old movies, and I do mean the mythical, scary kind, yeah, this actress would have played the part. But with
And like I said at the beginning of the show, unlike your typical sort of sultry, seductive femme fatale, and a lot of other noirs, she's very venomous,
Mhm.
feral, unapologetically cruel from the start. She's like spitting out every single line that she has. She's devoid of any of the the charming nuances of other
Femme
dames of the
fatales.
time.
Yeah.
And she her eyes especially are just piercing. But she's really the star, I think. Well, I mean, it's a two-way street, and they obviously hated each other on set, and that very much clearly comes through, I think. In all
Yeah,
the
the
scenes between them, is that
anti-chemistry, I wanted to say.
Exactly right, of them just shouting down each other. And she has she just has sort of this sort of sharp line delivery that I really enjoy, where she's just physically dominant over him in every scene that they're in, and that sort of shifts the big power dynamic, in a big way that's rarely seen at the time.
Mhm.
So she's a really big part of why this movie works. I think if it was just another cute gal, because I think, look, she's an attractive enough lady, but it's clearly in the performance too that it's a performance, and that she went out of her way to make herself look rugged and, again, animalistic and not pretty.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look up her page to see if she played anybody nice, because I think this is the first time I've ever seen this actress.
Yes. she's again primarily B movie films.
Yeah.
Ref,
Okay,
if you've only seen How to Train Your Dragon, you're not going to see any movie with Savage in it before
I've never
tonight.
seen How to Train Your Dragon. I've only seen Care Bears the movie and the film noirs from earlier, who escapes me at the moment.
Okay.
Or that's
Well,
the
anyway,
joke.
I think as sort of a kind of a cheap, homely femme fatale, and one that is just absolutely at 11 and just spitting anger and venom. She's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and I think also, as I was mentioning at the top, the film's low budget really adds actually to the atmosphere of the movie, and puts you at unease, because especially in a lot of the driving sequences, when it is an obviously huge, larger than life rear screen projection and stuff like that, and the cheapness of the sets, all of that kind of adds, I think, to the feeling. But it's also it feels visually cheap, but at the same time you have a lot of great cinematography and high contrast shadows and things in the film, and where the whole setup of him in the diner with how they film that, and it's a really cool sort of in-camera effect that they do, where they shroud the entire thing in darkness and put a spotlight on his face and illuminate him. It's really well done.
Yeah, like he's being lost in his own thoughts right there, like literally.
Exactly.
Not only that,
Yeah.
but there's also other little visual flourishes too. Some of them work, some of them are questionable, like the part where he daydreams about his girlfriend singing amongst the trio of shadowy band members. That's a little suspect. But then you have that great scene where after Vera is accidentally murdered, the camera just goes totally around the room and fades in and out, almost as if you're seeing it from his point of view. It's like he's trying to think, is there any real evidence here I have to be worried about? And he can't think because it's just, fuzzing in and out, unfocused.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively. So with that said, I do have to ask, I may have not been paying attention, but did he get caught at the end?
Yeah, that's him imagining his eventual capture, so it's up to your own interpretation. Because he's sort of narrating that someday a car will pull, and it's sort of ambiguous that way.
Yeah,
the whole thing is ambiguous, though. Again, it's not a through line, open and shut movie. It's all told from it's all like a perpetual sort of weird type of thing. It's told from his point of view. And it does really have, a lot of open endings, and it's open to your own interpretation, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. In that, like you said, the whole movie feels like his really poorly thought out alibi to everything that just occurred. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very nervously giving this narration. This all feels like, a rehearsal for telling the cops his woe was me story, where I know you guys won't believe this, but and really, again, really great direction. I want to say that Ulmer was another European German expressionist type director when he came over here, but he really maximizes, I think, the film's very small budget. I looked it up on Wikipedia. The budget is estimated between $100,000 and $20,000. And it really does use the very minimalist sets that they have at their disposal, with really good stark lighting, and creates this sort of claustrophobic atmosphere that is really intentional. And it feels like a really raw, stripped down, to its essentials, efficient classic noir movie in both the visuals and the story. And what I was talking about a few weeks ago, where it's great when you don't recognize actors, because then you totally get even more immersed, and you're not, distracted by, hey, wait a minute, it's why is Harrison Ford happy in this sequence? It's nice. You buy into it a little more, I think. And so having basically a cast of unknowns, it all just adds to like this movie feeling very singular and of itself, though it did get remade. And Tom Neal's son played him.
Is the remake any good, or is
I thought my sentiments exactly. Thank you, Vincent Price.
Yeah.
No, it was made, I want to say, in the 80s, 90s. I don't know.
Right.
Not too recently, but the remake is, I guess, not thought of very highly, because it's extremely hard to find, and No one really talks about it.
Okay, well, so much for doing a double feature of this and the remake of Detour. So
That would be a very bleak evening, though.
yeah, that is true. So yeah, no, like I've mentioned in the past, I would like to do a double feature of like original movie remake. And so far, the only one that's going to fit that bill so far is 0 Hour. No, is it 0 Hour and Airplane? I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
So, okay, and Shay says that was a pretty fun movie. And
Fun?
Yes. Well, yeah. If you love watching two people go at it, and not the fun way, so anti-chemistry. That's an interesting word we just came up with tonight. Okay, so was there a reason they just hated each other, or they just didn't get along? Period.
Well, they weren't very professional. Tom Neal, especially on set, he was not a lovable, likable guy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he made a lot of comments to her that weren't too flattering, and they didn't associate at all, from what I understand, except from when the cameras were on, and then they immediately went their separate directions between takes.
Okay.
They did not linger on set. Yeah, she has gone on to talk about that in the said book that she murdered Eddie Muller for. But no, I think I've struggled with this movie before because of just how low budget and cheap it feels.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, I think that does add a lot, as I keep saying, to the sort of unforgettable atmosphere that it does have. It has sort of a scrappy, skeezy type of, take a cold shower after it feeling. And at the end of the day, I think the budgetary constraints do enhance, the themes and the feel of the movie, and crafts this sort of unease, uncanny type of feeling that it all has. So,
okay, interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, I like it too. And Doomzilla says, I did enjoy the last moments, but I came in late, unfortunately. Yeah, so, yeah, by the way, did Haskell...
Man, like a guy, like the guy running behind at the Ford's Theater, Doomzilla. Just, well, come on, what I miss? The president's dead. Oh,
man. Is John Wilkes Booth okay? I like that guy.
Yeah.
Here's a good actor.
Check his leg.
Yeah, how screwed up is it that John Wilkes Booth is like he's still considered a heartthrob to this day? Because there's like the Lincoln Museum that literally has his wax dummy doing a kick-ass pose in the distance while he's like looking at the Lincoln family, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna murder you guys.
Sic semper tyrannis, brother.
Yeah, it's like if Charlemagne killed President Musk, and then like years, we still celebrate him many years later.
All right.
Yeah, what? It's not going to happen. Evil always succeeds in this horrible world of ours. And speaking of horrible worlds, we're going to go into a pretty long intermission. And this was a bit of a surprise for me at the last moment, too. But yeah, Mr. Brayton, what shall we do while we both... So what I plan on doing is that we're going to play this episode. And
Brayton's don't tell him what it is. I would like them to be surprised.
Oh, okay. Then then we'll leave it completely as a surprise. I will say this though. Two things I am going to say. This definitely won't be in the YouTube version. So if it gets replaced by a bunch of trailers of other things, you'll understand to anybody watching in the future. But also, I think what's going to happen is that me and Brayton are going to take like roughly maybe a 10-14 minute break, and then we'll come back gradually into the thing we're about to show as its little intermission. So sounds good? Blah, blah, blah.
Aye, aye.
Aye, Raffo. I can't hear you. All right. And Shay says, you think John Wilkes Booth is bad? You should... I'm not going to read that. No, Shay. Bad Shay. Okay. It was then I realized that...
What did he say?
No, I'm not going to read it. No.
Send me a message, Shay.
No, Mr. Booth's only killed one guy, okay? I'm not gonna praise the other guy, all right?
Man, that could be anybody. Tom Neal? He killed people.
This is going to be a very problematic stream. So, yeah. But no, we're going to take an intermission about roughly 26 minutes. But we'll be playing something very interesting and cool that ties in for tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into a bit of a black screen before we begin. Any last things you want to say, Brayton, outside of this, obviously?
Get in the zone.
The auto zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll fade to black and we'll start the intermission pretty soon. We'll see you guys maybe in the middle of this, but we'll definitely come back after the wonderfully cool intermission with our second and final feature, The Hitchhiker. But first, a different kind of hitchhiker.